What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. I am very excited today to talk about audio. Now, if you've listened to any videos that I've had in the past, you know that for me at least, audio is extremely important. Before I got into the camera setup, I was doing a lot of recording. I'm a musician at heart. I wish I did it more, but I don't. But I am a musician at heart, play guitar, wanted to record bands, do my own recording, stuff like that. So audio became something very, very important to me. Sometimes I don't have great audio. Hopefully today this sounds better so I don't have to do this 35 times. But for me, if I'm watching a video, the audio has to be on point. If the audio is bad, if I can't really understand what the person is saying, or I'm distracted by really, really noisy quality and bad sounds all around, then I don't want to watch that video. I have had lots of videos in the past where I've been watching them and the image and everything, the color grading looked phenomenal, but the audio just sounded bad. And for me, if it's bad audio, it's useless. You might as well start the entire project all over again. So as a wedding videographer, obviously I need something that's going to sound great. The couples don't want to watch their wedding videos with bad audio quality. So today we're going to be talking about the Rode Wireless Go Pros. Now, these are actually called the Wireless Pros, and there are numerous amount of reasons. Hopefully I said that right. Numerous amount of reasons why they are a pro set of microphones. Comes included in this is going to be lots of different things if you decide to buy the Rode Wireless Pros. So if you open up the case of the devices, you'll see there are 3 independent devices in here, 2 transmitters and 1 receiver. So one of the things I love about this system is if you are with somebody else, another creator, or you're just trying to make videos or at a wedding, you're able to transmit 2 signals at one time to the receiver, or in the case that we'll talk about in a bit, you can record to both of these devices and not have to worry about interference or anything like that. You get nice, clean, crystal clear recordings to the devices themselves. So I'm going to move my mouse out of the way here so we can see it a little better. We got some other stuff to talk about. What I love about these compared to the Rode Wireless Go's is the kind of very pro look to these. So you've got a nice flat finish all the way around, and then a nice shiny glossy finish on the front here. I have found that I'm able to keep these fairly clean. They're not getting smudgy. They're not getting fingerprints or anything all over them. Build quality seems pretty good. They're pretty rugged. I have accidentally dropped them, just slipping. I get nervous when I'm putting mics on people for whatever reason. You've got a few buttons on here. They have different functions that we will talk about. And then on the top here, you've got, again, another button. You've got a microphone that you can cover with a windscreen. And then you've got an input for a lavalier microphone. Now, there's a lot to love and a few things to not love so much about these microphones. Number one about these that everybody should just take note of, 32-bit internal float recording, whatever you want to call it, 32-bit float internal recording. It's phenomenal. To me, it is so much easier to walk in, turn these on, hit the record button, put this mic on a groom or the officiant or whoever I'm micing up for the day, and call it there. I have no worries in the world. I know I'm going to get crystal clear audio without introducing noise or anything to that nature. Now, if you've seen my previous video on my field recorder, you know what 32-bit float is. If you're watching this and you're still unsure what 32-bit float recording is, basically what that means is you essentially can't clip your signal. So if somebody's talking too loud into it, then it won't peak and cause a lot of distortion. So essentially what happens with a wave of an audio file, that audio file could reach its absolute limit and get distorted, and it sounds crackly, it sounds bad, it's not good. Again, along the lines of bad audio. But sometimes people speak very quietly, and when they do that, then you will obviously want to raise that volume up. And when you do that, a lot of times on recorders, you introduce what we call noise. So noise is just that staticky, really annoying sound that you introduce. And with 32-bit float recording, you eliminate that issue altogether. It's a low noise floor, and there's a high ceiling to be able to talk pretty much as loud as you want. And we will test that into these microphones without causing too many issues. Another thing I love about these is the battery life. So compared to the Rode Wireless Go's, let me grab those real quick. Now, I never did a video on these, but you could see here, depending on how I set this video up, you get pretty much the same thing. You've got a nice glossy front, but it just doesn't look as good in comparison. And you get 2 transmitters, 1 receiver, but you can kind of see, even let's just look at the transmitters here. This one just has an elegance to it, in my opinion, kind of looking nice compared to the Go. It's got this gold writing on it, which I completely understand. It's Rode's kind of symbol. I'm speaking into a Rode mic here. Somewhere there's a gold dot back here. That's a good way of you knowing I'm speaking into a Rode product. But the Rode Wireless Go's, they're good, but they don't have the 32-bit. And they just don't look as good, in my opinion. The screen is much better. This one's actually the dirtiest, which is crazy because I use it the least. But the screen looks better. It functions better. It's got a longer signal range. I'm not sure exactly what they are in comparison, but both are USB-C for charging. And then they both have headphone outs as well. So that's another convenient thing, or realistically an out to go into your camera. So I love the Go's, but they didn't have the 32-bit float. And then the battery life, with this, it comes with this kind of pouch thing here, which isn't bad. It's a nice way to be able to carry around some of your accessories. Here's one of the kind of windscreens for it. So I can kind of, be able to not worry about when I've got the 2 in here for the Go's. But on this, you get 2 of these cases, which you can purchase a separate case for this to be able to charge. They brought it out way later after I bought it. But this comes with its own charging case, and you can transfer from this case, which to me is an amazing thing. Hopefully this is in focus. I cannot tell. Let's take. But this comes with the charging case, and then also if you just hook up the USB-C on the back here, you can actually transfer all of your footage off of both transmitters straight to your computer through basically, I use Windows, so it's a file explorer for me, and it's seamless. It gives you the dates with the latest firmware updates on here. It's even listed as like a pro recording of some sort, and then it just makes everything so much easier. It's a 32-bit float file. You transfer it right into your editing station. You're good to go. So again, in comparison, the Wireless Pro coming with a case, the charging case, and being able to transfer files. You can check your battery life on the back here. Is phenomenal. Battery life on these are incredible, not only because you have a case that will charge it on the go, but I've had these on people for 4 or 5 hours, and it seems like we didn't even touch the battery. We're recording internal 32-bit float. I believe you can get up to like 32 hours total between the charge on the devices themselves, and if you put it back in the charging case to recharge, you can do that. I've had it to where I've gone a couple of weekends without charging these whatsoever, and I have no issues being able to use them without worrying about battery life. Another advantage to these over the original Go's or the Go's 2s, which is what I have, the Go 2s, the internal storage. I believe this has like 40 hours, up to 40 hours of internal recording. I've never even come close. I've had an entire list of files from long ceremonies to short ceremonies that I just kind of keep around just in case I need that audio still, and never have issues with the recording limits on this as far as storage is concerned. Whereas the Rode Wireless Go's, they're a lot less. I believe it's like 20 something hours. I will check. I'll put it here. It definitely is less between the 2 of them. And again, this is recording 32-bit float internal versus the regular standard 24-bit without having the ability to worry about clipping or anything like that. Both devices have gain adjustments. You could do like an auto gain, I believe, definitely on the Pros. I'm not sure about the Wireless Go 2s because it's been a while since I've used them. But you have, gain adjustments. You can use these buttons here as markers for if you decide you want to put a marking there. So let's say you're recording. For me, if I'm doing like a first look into like a vowel reading, I can record it and then hit a marker, letting myself know that that's where the vowel reading ends. And then later on, I can hit it again if I want this to stay on all day. And then that's where ceremony begins, so on and so forth. It's really nice that you have that. There are some time code functions with these. I've never used it because I'm a noob when it comes to that. I know some cameras you can like jam sync time code, but I have not experimented with that yet. It is something I am looking forward to one day to finally getting used to as far as doing that. Other than that, I just line it up with the audio waveforms currently through DaVinci Resolve. So the case, again, really, really nice. You get 2 cases with this. There's the one with the devices in it, and then you get a second case that looks almost identical with all of the accessories in it. So with that, you get some magnets, which are separate for the wireless Go 2s. You automatically get them with the Pro, so you can magnetize it, be a typical influencer like I was in my last video. You get the cable to go into the camera. You get some different clips in here. You get the wind protection that you can put right on top of the mics, as well as the lavalier mics. And then you get your lavalier mics. So this is where we start getting to the cons and the things that I don't like about the wireless Rode Pros. Now, to me, we can absolutely test this out, and I will go through real quickly what both lavaliers sound like. But I started using the lavaliers that came with the Rode Go 2s, and there's pretty much one reason why. Now, when we look at it, and for some reason I have a mic that is not the right lavalier here, I'm going to show you kind of up close here, if you could see that there's a little, put my hand in front of my face. It's falling. We're there somewhere. The little clip that's supposed to go onto this is off. And there's a reason why, because it's trash. I love Rode products. As you can see, I'm using a Rode mic. I've had the regular pod mics. I've got an NT1A, if you're familiar with that. I'm recording right now into the Rode Procaster 2. I absolutely love Rode products, but this is the worst thing they've ever done. This little clip right here is miserable. It does not stay on the microphone. It constantly falls up. I think I only have one left because I lost the other one because it kept falling off. And I think one of the wedding people I had, one of the grooms or something, it fell off of their jacket, and probably while walking, and then it wasn't there. But you can kind of see here that it's on there, but once you start moving a little bit, or this actually gets pressed, it falls, it kind of hangs off. It's supposed to have this nice loop-to-loop, I guess they call it a broadcast loop setup. It's incredibly confusing because I'm a bit lazy and I need to be quick on my feet with this. Now, the microphone is supposed to be a higher quality microphone. It's not omnidirectional, but I can't think of the word. I'll hopefully put it down here if I can remember to do that. But basically, it's single direction, whatever the actual terms for that is. It comes right into one side of the mic. The other side, it doesn't have a way to put signal into it, so it's not omnidirectional. Omni would be all the way around, but it's very similar to like a dynamic mic like this, where it takes the signal in directly to the front. Now, what I'm using again is the Rode Wireless Go 2s. I'm using that microphone, and that's simply because it's kind of like that stick. Try to pull it out here, but you can kind of see there. It's kind of like the stick version, and it slides into this little hole here. And what I'm using is these Bubble Bee kind of rubber pads that you can put a sticky on the side of it. And with that, I could just stick it right to the inside of a groom's jacket. The mic is completely hidden, and I'm not worried about this clip falling off because, again, they are atrocious. I believe these came with clips that were better. Again, probably lost them, not sure. But because they're so bad, I can't even utilize the better microphones that come with the Wireless Pro system. And I just like this better. I like the fact that I could stick it in there. And for me, I only mic up grooms and efficients. So with that, I don't have to worry about the bride. The bride is picked up thanks to the 32-bit internal recording. And I'm able to capture both of them within just that one microphone. And sometimes I can only mic up the groom. So I get the efficient, the bride, and the groom all in one microphone, and I'm able to adjust levels as needed. And to me, it sounds phenomenal. The next thing I want to talk about just real quick, just to kind of show you, this is a kind of cheap lavalier from Ceremonic. I believe it's the one that was on my desk. That's probably why it was there. If I can cover up my face, get that autofocus to work. This clip is much better, much stronger. It's never come off this microphone. It is a little hard to open up and then you clip on, but this microphone's so big and it's just not, the quality is not even close to what Rode's offering. Again, both microphones sound great, lavalier, and even just the base mic from holding it like this, like an influencer, so to speak, sounds great. The lavaliers are a problem because of the clips. I would like to use both. So let's go ahead and get into a test real quick. I'm going to swap over to using that instead of this, and we'll see how it sounds from there. Now, what I'm using here is the I'm going to talk into this microphone. This one will obviously pick it up, and I could raise it, but I'm a little lazy. I'm using the Rode Interview Go, I think they call it. Again, gold seal on the back there. If you could see that, looks like my face is out of focus. But it comes, you put this little sleeve on it, and then you're just talking straight into it. So I've seen a couple of creators lately using this. Some people don't want to because it says Rode very big on each side. No matter how you turn it, Rode is there. I love this. If I'm doing interviews at a wedding or anything like that, and I remember that I have this, pull this out, and now I'm basically, you know, just doing interviews like that. So I love the idea of this. It's like $22, $25, depending on where you buy it from. I think it's phenomenal. It does great, cuts out on any extra sound that's coming in, and I'm speaking straight right now into the top of the microphone on the Rode device, recording internal 32-bit float. So just a test. I'm going to talk real quiet right now, and I'm just going to kind of keep it low. This is good too because my dog is in the other room, and he wants to come out here, but he can't. So I'll raise this volume. And then I'm going to yell like this, and I'm not going to have a problem because this 32-bit internal recording, it's awesome. It's so great. I love it. I love it. I don't have to worry about it. Quiet bride, no problem. Loud groom, no problem. We're good. So hopefully that worked out well. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to jump over real quick to just kind of holding the lavalier up just to show you guys the two different ones that I have, the different sound quality. Again, I think they're pretty even. The ones that come with the Pro are better microphones, at least price-wise. But again, Rode makes pretty good products all around. Even the internal here sounds great. That's why I used it like, you know, your typical influencer on my chest in my last video because it's fine. I have no issues with it. And that was uncovered, nothing like this. So let's go ahead and swap over real quick. The Pro version has the locking mechanism on here, so you can actually screw that in and lock it. That is also another con to these microphones. Those kind of come off, they don't twist on there right. And sometimes because of that mechanism, basically what happens is you don't always get the microphone in there all the way. So it was something I was always very worried about. When I mic'd up a groom, if I didn't have the receiver with me, I couldn't tell that I was actually getting a signal from the mic itself. And then that was a massive fear of mine when it came to making sure that I was getting good audio recordings from them. So this is the one that comes with the wireless Pros. And now we're going to swap over to the ones I typically use on a wedding day, which come with the wireless Go 2. Actually, they don't even come with it. These are separate. These are called the Lavalier Go's, I believe, that I'm about to swap to. And they're like $70 or something like that. You can buy them. I'll double check the name and the price for you, or leave a link in the description where you can check it out yourself. And now I am once again holding the Lavalier Go 2s, I believe it's called. So this is what this sounds like. And again, we're recording 32-bit float, so it doesn't really matter if you're too loud. I am holding a little close to my mouth than I typically would have it. Obviously on a groom, it would be down on the lapel, but just trying to keep it for, I don't even know, good quality's sake. I don't know. But, you know, you can either stick it there. You could stick it kind of in the middle of a chest of a person if you're able to do that. So wedding videographer, it becomes a little invasive to do something like that. So I'm just going to throw it on the jacket. And you can purchase like wind protections with the Bumblebee setup. I don't. DaVinci Resolve has a great isolator that doesn't destroy and mangle your audio too bad. So I typically stick with that. So that way it's a small setup. Their jacket isn't puffed out and they feel a lot more comfortable, in my opinion, when you put something very sleek and pretty on their jackets there. So it makes it a little better there. But now you hear the audio quality of that. So we're going to swap back over to the other mic now. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about the three. So we had the just on the interview Go. You've heard my videos with this as like an influencer type setup. And then between the two microphones, if you can hear the quality difference, if YouTube doesn't destroy it too much, let me know what you think in the comments down below about the quality difference of each of the different microphones that you can use with this. So overall, obviously, again, love Rode products. I think they're phenomenal. I've got an absolute mess on my desk right now, but the Rode products are great. If you're looking for something, we're a little more expensive than obviously the Go 2s, but the 32-bit float recording, the features that it's packed with, when you go onto the Rode Connect software, you can do so much more on there of getting your settings right, whether you're going to turn on auto gain, if you want to split the channels into like a safety channel, or just record both of the receivers to the transmitter as one merge channel. There are so many different options that you have, and it makes it very flexible for any filmmaker out there to get good quality without absolutely breaking the bank. That's something I'm huge on. I am running some pretty nice cameras here, but at the end of the day, I also can't justify spending an insane amount of money on something that to me isn't really worth it. You've got great battery life. It's internal batteries. I don't have to worry about fumbling around. My field recorder, I have to change 4 AA's every time I take it out. It's annoying. I hate it. My on-camera microphone takes 2 AA's, I believe, or 1 AAA. It lasts a very long time, but there's always that looming fear in the back of my head that I'm going to have to change out batteries. But with this setup here, it has streamlined my workflow. It sounds phenomenal to be able to just, this is why the sticky is on the back of this already, because I have them prepped. So when I go to a wedding, I don't have to worry about sticking it to this and then trying to stick it on the groom and hopefully it sticks right, especially in hot summer days. It's already ready to roll. I just got to stick it to them. It also comes off of jackets pretty well. The only time I've had issues is felt. I had somebody with like a felt type suit and it stuck to that pretty bad. Luckily, I think he was going to be able to get that cleaned. I haven't heard any complaints, and that was 6 months ago. So I hope it was okay. So if you see something like that, I would recommend probably clipping if you're going to use the Bumblebee system. If you want more information about that, let me know in the comments. I'll go ahead and try to link something if that's the case. But overall, this is a phenomenal system. I have never tried the DJI setups, but based off everything I've dealt with, me personally, this is the way to go. Again, kind of like a biased thing where obviously I enjoy Rode products. I use a lot of their products daily. I stream video games using this setup between the Procaster and the Wireless Go 2, or I'm sorry, the Rodecaster Pro 2. I had also the original Rode Procaster before this one, and they're products I trust. They are affordable. They're for people that don't want to break the bank, and yet they are good quality products. So if you're looking for it and you're looking for the new setup for your wedding, as long as you understand you may have to purchase different lavalier mics, you cannot go wrong with this. Now, if you can find a way to make that clip work and it works for you, fantastic. I hope it does, but it does not work for me. It is incredibly frustrating. So hopefully Rode solves that issue with the next iteration. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you could hit that like and subscribe button, I greatly appreciate it. Hit the bell notifications if you want to know about more videos coming out. Hopefully we have some more for you. But other than that, I hope you stay safe, be kind to one another, and I will see you next time. Thanks.